beach. Go from the presence of a foolish man. You don't want to have anything to do with them. If they're not willing to learn, if they're not open, if they're not looking for understanding, get away from them. Get away from them, because Proverbs 13:20 says the companion of fools will be destroyed. If that kind of person is your friend, then probably you're not going to want to grow and do something intelligent and wise and understanding, because they're going to hate it, because we're being told that they hate those things. So then they're going to start hating you, and you're just going to have contention. So it's easy to give in with them, and then you end up adopting their ways and end up being destroyed alongside them. And another thing, one of the characteristics of a wise person is that when they're angry, and everybody gets angry, the scripture says, be angry, but don't sin. In other words, you can be angry, but work through it. Don't lash out and then go do something wrong with it. And Proverbs 12:16 says, a fool's wrath is known at once. They have no editorial committee. Their editorial committee is on permanent coffee break. All they do is knee-jerk reaction. They don't process things. They don't think into it. They don't discern. They don't understand. And they never have a good response. It's just their anger is known at once. And we certainly saw that this weekend. Proverbs 17:12 says, it's better to meet a bear robbed of her cubs than a fool in his folly. You get away and leave the cubs alone, the mother bear is probably going to be okay. You get a fool in his folly. Once they get going, like this guy we saw just wants to stir everybody else up. They're just going to continue to repeat the problems and to make them worse. And then Proverbs 23:9, this is one of my favorites. It says, do not speak in the hearing of a fool. It doesn't just say don't speak to a fool. It says don't even speak in the hearing of a fool, because he's going to despise the wisdom of your words. And if he despises the wisdom of your words because it makes him look like a fool, and his pride's going to keep him from admitting that he's a fool and that he can learn, that don't even speak when he can hear you. Make sure, who your audience is. Find an audience that wants to grow. Look for those people. They may be in a very bad situation. They may be making very bad mistakes. But if they're interested, if they have that seed of interest in developing and growing, hey, that's the kind of person you want to help. Now you can make some progress. And if they take one thing you say and make a little step in the right direction, then give them more. Give them more. Encourage them. But a fool, they're not having any of it. They don't even want to hear a wise word, not alone take it to heart and apply it. So when you find those people, don't even speak in their hearing. Get away from them and get a different audience. And so these things are, these I hope are very helpful in identifying that, because it's so easy, to want to engage a fool and make them see the wisdom, your wisdom. And then we can end up being foolish in that attempt too. Sometimes we just have to take the back seat. Just downplay things, let them think they've got the upper hand, let them think they won the argument, whatever, because you're never going to win the argument because they're a fool. Why are some people fools? I don't know. Why are some people wise? I heard Jim Rohn speaking one time, and he said that in the book of Acts in the Bible, on the day of Pentecost, when Peter preached this first really powerful sermon, that 3,000 people believed him. And he said, well, why did some people believe? He said, well, because they're the believers. Other people scoffed. Why did they scoff? Because they're scoffers. Other people were all riled up. Why? Because they're the ones that get riled up. You can't do anything to change that. Only God can touch that heart. And if you see him touching it, now you'll know, because now they want some answers and they want wisdom. They want to get better. But if you don't see that in them, leave them alone. Because Proverbs 27:22 says, though you grind a fool in a mortar with a pestle, along with crushed grain, yet his foolishness will not depart from him. He can be beat up. He can be have the consequences just poured out. He can be crushed in a mortar, but his foolishness won't depart, because he won't learn anything. That is the identifying quality of the fool. And the last verse I want to share with you today, it's Proverbs 27:3. It says, a stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but the provocation of a fool is heavier than both. After this example, it was kind of a really down weekend. You can't have that kind of a confrontation and go away, even though we weren't confronting, we were making a very polite request, but we had an idiot, a fool, that was confronting us as a result, that had no idea what he was doing or what he was talking about or what even happened. All he had was his own ideas, and his ideas were wrong, but he was sure willing to spread them all over the place. So you don't want to incur a fool's provocation. The only wise recourse is, like we said earlier, go. from the presence of a fool. Don't even be around them. Don't even talk around them. Just let them experience the consequences of what life's going to bring them because of their foolish decisions. And you just keep right on growing and developing and building into other people and developing a positive, powerful, growth-oriented, developmental, excellent life. And just stay away from the fools because nothing good will come of it. So I hope this was helpful. Maybe you've had an experience like this, like we've had. I'm sure most of us have from time to time. Just being able to discern and identify when we're in the presence of a fool so we can get away from them and not have any repercussions from it and just go on peacefully, doing the right things and being blessed and being prospered. That's the way to do it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I'm Jeff Byrd with Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and this is Empowered Living.